أهلا وسهلا فيكم بحلقة جديدة من بودكاست Inner Needs، مساحة نحكي فيها عن الأوتيزم من زوايا مختلفة وتحديداً زاوية الأهل. أنا سارة، I'm an autism mom و certified autism parents coach. ضيفتي اليوم ليسا حدادين، هي أم لطفل عنده احتياجات مختلفة، بس هي اختارت إنه ما توقف عند الصعوبات وقدرت تلاقي طريق مختلف، طريقة تربية بتحترم التنوع العصبي. وهون قدرت تبدأ بتغييرات بسيطة ساعدتها تلاقي المعنى والسعادة بهاي الرحلة، وما اكتفت إنه تخلي هذا العلم بس لإلها، قررت تنشر هذا الوعي لباقي الأهل على السوشيال ميديا. أهلا وسهلا فيكي ليسا.
أهلاً.
ليسا، لو طلبت منك تعرفي عن حالك شو بتحبي تقولي؟
أول إشي حابة أحكي أنه أنا أم. I'm a very proud mom to a beautiful boy. I was forced to become an advocate for neurodivergent children. I think this is a blessing, صراحة. So I would like to introduce myself as an advocate for neurodivergent children in general, an advocate for inclusion. I share my life or my parenting approach of Neuro-Affirming Parenting on social media so that I can guide other mothers, other parents and caregivers to see the joy of what living on the spectrum is like from our day-to-day activities.
Thank you Lisa, that's amazing. وجد I'm so proud of كل إشي أنت عم تعمليه على السوشيال ميديا because أنت شخص ما اختار إنه يوقف هذا العلم عنده. You're spreading it لباقي الأهل كمان. بس أنت هلأ حكيتي شغلة لما كنتي عم تحكي، قلتي I was forced، إنه أنت انغصبتي إنك تكوني advocate أو إنك زي كأنه تدافعي عن احتياجات أطفالنا أو حقوقهم. إنه ليه بتحسي you were forced؟
I felt I was forced because there was so much misunderstanding. للأسف the idea of neurodiversity or neurodivergence in general ما في ناس بيفهموا عليها أكتر. هي شو الفكرة؟ إنه humans come in different forms and it's a very natural thing. You have people who physically look different and you have people who have differently wired brains. You're not going to place value on someone that's tall or someone that's short. You're going to see them as the same. For the same thing should be applied to أطفال or adults who are neurodivergent. هي شو فكرة neurodiversity? It's under the umbrella of that term. You have labels that have been placed such as autism, ADHD, sensory processing differences, communication differences, dyslexia, all of these things. هي الفكرة أنه all of these are labels, but they really intertwine with each other when it comes to neurodiversity. My approach to parenting, like all of us, have changed our approaches to parenting. You hear conscious parenting, you hear gentle parenting. Neuro-affirming parenting follows the same concept. It's centering the child, your child, as a priority, prioritizing their nervous system, prioritizing their emotions, their safety, and truly understanding what it means to be autistic, what it means to be on the spectrum in general. Once you truly understand what that is and not just look at it as a label, then you can have a more beautiful and joyful life with your child, with your family, and with the society you choose to have around you.
Okay, so basically لما عم نقول Neuro-Affirming Parenting هي بالعربي التربية اللي بتحترم التنوع العصبي.
100%.
So basically إحنا we're guiding parents إنهم هم to follow their child's lead بهاي التربية. So how does it look like in real life or in practical life? كيف بتكون هاي ال Neuro-Affirming Parenting? How do we apply it as parents?
I think أهم إشي when you first start is it starts with the parent, whether it's the mother or the father. Usually it's the mother. You want to make yourself aware. You want to build your understanding. You want to research. You want to hear perspectives of other parents. So you really want to center yourself at the beginning of it as a person who's well equipped. In order to be neuro-affirming, you need to understand what it is. Once you understand that, then you can place the tools and strategies in place. هلا هي فكرة النيورو affirming بلشت في السنترز برا in America. speech therapists, occupational therapists, doctors صاروا يلاحظوا أنه the typical way of therapy, sitting on the table, following orders, being compliant, مش كان عم بيطلع نتائج proper. يعني عم بيشوفوا أنه عم بيضغطوا الأطفال. They're causing dysregulation, يعني causing their nervous system to shut down, not connecting with the child, not bonding with the child. So you're not getting the progress that we are all looking for.
Yeah.
So the practices برا, يعني within the science field, قرروا أنه there's a neuro-affirming approach to working with these kids. It's not about obedience. It's not about making them do a certain thing. It's not about rushing their specific progress or timeline. They saw that in order for us to see positive impact in this child, we really need to connect with them and understand them totally. يعني what does that look like? It looks like a therapy session. يعني for example, speech therapy, usually when we see it, بيكونوا قاعدين على الطاولة وعم بيحكوا مع الطفل وفي فلاش كاردز وهيك. هلأ اختلفت هاي البيئة، صارت إنه عم بيلعبوا مع الطفل. Learning through play, integrating sensory systems, using the swing, understanding the child's body language. فكل هاي القصص تعلمته في هاي الطريقة وصرت أطبقه عندي في البيت. الأشياء اللي عم بتعلمه في السنتر عم بطبقه عندي في البيت.
Okay, excellent. So ليسا, كيف لما إحنا we change the way we look at our kids, how does that help us set goals and follow tools differently with them?
Okay. I think أهم issue to notice is, or the major mind shift happens when you start to understand that behavior is actually communication. We all wait for our children to say their first words in order to think that they're communicating with us.
Yeah.
But when you pick up on their specific behaviors and understand that they're communicating to you, that's when you really start to add tools or strategies. And for example, if you think back, babies, صح, when a baby cries or acts a specific way, you understand that your child is communicating to you. We understand that communication comes in different forms, whether your child is stimming, whether they're running around, whether they're pacing. It's their body's way of manifesting their inner thoughts into the world. صح? So once you pick up on that concept, you can start to introduce strategies and tools in the house whenever needed. يعني.
Okay. So we're trying to say, when we start to understand the needs of this child, we will be able to understand where their behaviors are coming from as well. ما نضلنا بس نطلع to label things as this is a behavior, to look at it as what is this behavior trying to tell us as caregivers, and how should we respond accordingly to the child.
Yes.
Yeah. هلا إحنا كتير أوقات we look at behaviors as in a way that we need to fix the behavior. دائما بدنا نصلح سلوك معين. So how can we start looking at them differently? بدل ما fixing the behavior, let's say redirecting the behavior.
Sure.
Yeah.
هلا هي I think the concept of behavior has always been labeled as bad لأنه when we go for a diagnosis, or even when we hear it from teachers, or even like people in society, or judgments, or parents, or whatever, it was always like, oh, your child's misbehaved, or why are they acting this way? Why are they behaving in this specific way? I think there's no such thing as bad behavior. I understand that there's moments where our children can have sensory meltdowns and act in a way that could either harm themselves or harm the people around them.
Yeah.
But before we think about redirecting where they've reached their complete capacity of receiving sensory input from the world, we really need to understand and pick up on the behaviors at the beginning. Yani, you go into the center and you ask the therapist to, for example, I want my child to stop stimming. What you're actually doing is you're preventing your child from
being themselves.
Not even from being themselves, from naturally regulating their systems.
Yeah.
So when you understand that these behaviors is self-care for your child, you're going to allow that to happen.
Of course.
And when you allow that to happen, the really bad behaviors that people are like worried about don't show up as often, or are not misunderstood anymore.
Yeah.
You truly dive deep and you understand, okay, what is triggering my child? Is it a new environment? Is it the sound? Is it a smell? Is it a person? Once you identify these triggers that are happening with them, you can be able to, like you said, you respond to the behavior, you don't react to it.
Yeah, definitely.
فهمتي؟ يعني بتبطلي تفكري انه أنا مش قادرة أفهم شو عم بصير. I'm not parenting properly. It removes the responsibility of you as a parent. The blame. And you're like, no, actually, I have more learning to do. Instead of saying, I can't do this, I'm learning that I need to understand my child's nervous system and needs.
Definitely.
Better, yeah.
So while you're talking, I'm assuming that maybe to begin with this neuro-affirming parenting journey, I think it starts with us as parents.
Yes.
Maybe the way we talk to ourselves. So it's our self-talk, what we do inside, right? So does it sound like terms that we need to change or ideas that we're feeding into our brains? Maybe things like, instead of saying my child is delayed, maybe we can say my child is still learning. Instead of saying my child is disabled, we can say my child is different. What does it look like? What do you encourage? How do you encourage parents to talk to themselves in a way that can help them build this ideology on the inside so that it can come out genuinely to the outside?
Totally. And before we get into that, I feel like it doesn't come from us, these like words that we use that feel negative or feel like they're stopping a conversation. When a parent receives a diagnosis, it's all about the red flags, alerting language, language of delay, language of deficit, language of difficulties, language of challenges. So I don't think we really need to understand that words have so much power.
Of course.
But when we're receiving this information from doctors, from schools, it's already implementing.
It's programming our brains as well, right?
It's totally programming your brain to see your child in that way, and then to see you as the blame for that. فلما بنحاول نغير the language that we're using, it opens up the conversation. It creates hope. يعني instead of saying your child has learning difficulties, you say your child has learning differences.
Nice.
Why is that the case? When you say that your child has learning difficulties,
it gives you some sort of stuckness as a parent,
you feel stopped.
Right?
You feel helpless. Okay, he has a difficult time learning. Oh well, I can't do anything about that.
Of course.
Instead, when you say my child has learning differences, it opens up the space to explore, okay, how are the ways that my child can learn? Is it a visual learner? Is he learning through play? Is he learning through movement? يعني للأسف بنحس إنه a child is ready to learn by sitting down still, listening and taking in information from an adult. Not all children learn that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when we're put in a situation where we as parents feel triggered from either a certain behavior or delay, something in the child is triggering us as parents. What's the right questions that we need to ask ourselves in order to, break these thoughts or these programs inside of our head that can help us react differently?
I think we need to look at the causes as to why we're feeling that way. If you're out in public and you're having a bad reaction to your child crying or a bad reaction to your child having a sensory meltdown, ask yourself why. Am I feeling anxious because my child's making me feel this way? Or is it from the people around me? Is it from judgmental looks, expectations from society, for example?
Am I assuming that maybe other people are judging the way I've parented this child? Am I the reason they're not listening or they're making a tantrum? And I think when you move past that and you truly start to understand the differences that our child, children on the spectrum or neurodivergent children truly receive information from the world different to us. Their body reacts to their environment in a highly more sensitive way. Us as human beings, we receive information through our senses, sight, sound, taste, touch, being in space. A child who's neurodivergent receives that information and processes it in their body in a totally different way. Absolutely.
So their experience of being in the world is already harder than a neurotypical person or a person who has typical sensory processing differences. So once we understand that my child is out in public and they're having a really hard time, the first thing that comes to mind is, how can I help you?
Of course.
It's not, oh my God, people are looking. Because you understand that they're like could be physically feeling pain.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
the fact that you know that, your automatic reaction would be to respond to your child and not to react to people around you.
Yeah, and maybe that needs a lot of practice. And like we
It
said
does need
earlier, the
practice.
self-talk we do to help you really get to a point where when you are in a situation, you're really actually curious how you can help the child versus how other people are looking at me. صح؟
100%. And it takes time.
It does take time. And so having said all of that, what's the negative impact of us interpreting the behaviors that are coming out of the child as, you know, labels such as like he's stubborn, he doesn't listen, sometimes we say naked.
Yeah.
So what's عنيد, exactly. So what's the negative impact that's putting on both us and the child using these labels or interpreting behaviors in that way?
100%. I mean, if you interpret behavior and you give it, like you said, a specific like word, you're basically characterizing your child as that thing. And if you don't respond to it in a way through support and understanding, you are basically stopping communication. فإذا طفلك عم بيبكي وعم بيصرخ وبتحكي له إنه خلص اسكت or stop talking, stop crying, you've taught your child that you're not their safe space, you're not open for communication.
Their feelings are not welcomed.
Their feelings are not welcomed. وشو يعني هاي بتتأثر على شخصيتهم, their confidence, their levels of anxiety increase. Your levels of anxiety increase. يعني the relationship of parenting becomes إنه you're battling with your child's nervous system. You're not battling with your child as who they are as a person.
Of course.
You're attacking their nervous system. للأسف. Like that's what I really, really want, a huge shift in the conversation of behavior to move from labeling or identifying bad character traits, which it's not. It's truly communication. I mean, just always go back to like a neurotypical mindset. Your baby's crying. You're not going to ignore the baby. You're not going to tell the baby to, you're not going to tell the baby to be quiet or whatever. At the end of the day, children who are on the spectrum, autism, ADHD or whatever, their nervous system is still developing.
And it requires co-regulation.
It requires co-regulation. Their nervous system isn't going to develop by itself. It's not going to develop with extra forces like going against and causing friction. Like you said, it truly begins with co-regulation. ما بعرف شو يعني co-regulation في العربي. إذا حابة تحكيها أكتر.
ممكن نقول إنه زي لما إنه تكون أنا والطفل عم نساعده إنه يهدي حاله
100%.
صح إنه ما نتركه إنه زي ما أنتي قلتي إنه بس إنه خلص اسكت اهدى كذا إنه نتوقع منه by saying that أنا عم بتوقع منه إنه هو يهدي حاله بس هو عم بيحتاج إنه أنا أساعده إنه هو يتعلم كيف يهدي أو ينظم حاله صح
كتير مهم إنه self-regulation is a skill that's really hard to accomplish even as an adult.
صح.
يعني إذا أنتي كان يومك كتير صعب وعم تبكي ومنهارة وهيك يعني مرات you need a friend.
صح.
مرات you need your partner.
صح.
You need, I don't know, to watch a movie, watch whatever it is to self-regulate.
بس آخر إشي بتكوني بتحتاجيه إنك تقعدي لحالك وتهدي حالك لحالك صح؟ So why are we expecting the child to do that?
It's totally unnatural.
It is.
صراحة يعني the systems that our children are built in, the way that the cities designed, the way that systems are designed, schools, it's totally against human nature.
It is.
صراحة يعني I feel like the more we advocate for our neurodivergent kids, the neurotypical kids are also going to benefit from this. يعني approaching life in that way, in a human-centered way, rather than labels and negatively putting characteristics onto children, that's actually normal behavior. Makes it easier for like the whole, you know, society around you to be better.
So when we stop misinterpreting their behaviors and when we stop labeling them as bad behaviors, that will help us come as, with like a compassionate parent rather than an authoritative parent. صح ولا لا؟
وإحنا we're moving away from this.
Yes.
You know, you had a guest on your podcast talking about conscious parenting
100%.
and the benefits of it.
Yes.
And we've seen the negative impacts of authoritative parenting in general. وإحنا يعني جيلنا إحنا المillennials that have kids now, we're aware of this, we're conscious of this. We want to parent in a way that's beneficial for our kids. And neuro-affirming parenting is tailored to children who are neurodivergent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
بس ليسا sometimes إنه إحنا okay as much as بدنا نكون إنه إحنا we're welcoming and understanding and affirming certain behaviors بس في behaviors that are telling you I need help and في behaviors where you as a parent need to say no, this needs redirecting or this behavior needs to stop. It could be self-harming or different behaviors that we need the child to stop immediately or at least to put an action plan where this behavior eventually stops. So what are these behaviors? عشان بس we don't want to confuse the listeners ونخليهم يفكروا إنه إحنا we're saying every behavior is welcome. في behaviors بدها شوية حزم let's say.
100%. يعني when I say behaviors communication مش عم بحكي إنه it's welcomed. It's an insight to seeing what your child is going through. يعني yes, there are behaviors that could be self-harming or harming people around them, just as us as human beings. يعني a person an adult who throws something across the room, that's not acceptable behavior. Because you know that there's something going on there, and that's something that adult or child needs work.
Yes.
We talk about setting up routines. We talk about providing them with a sensory diet.
Definitely.
We talk about providing them with the necessary tools that they need to communicate, whether it's sign language, AAC, even like the outside environment, the adjustments that we make in the environment sometimes cannot be enough.
أكيد.
يعني there was a moment in time where I thought I had everything done and set up. يعني حسيت حالي أنه أنا خلص
ختمتي.
I figured it out. فهمتي? And there's days where there's just no sleep, lack of hunger. There's days where I think that he's getting sick, but I'm not sure that he's sick. And then 3 days later, I figure out, I'm like, okay, I understand why these behaviors came out. He wasn't feeling well. And then we also have to look at it as like a whole body approach. يعني احنا بنقدر نعطي tools قد ما بنقدر.
صح.
adjust the environment اللي حوالينا. But we also have to يعني see, is our child sleeping well? Do they have any food allergies? We know that the digestive system in general is very much linked to the nervous
the
system.
brain-gut connection.
يعني it took I tried sleep training when Kenz was younger. Only because he was a really bad sleeper. And now I know why. But he was a really bad sleeper. And I tried everything. It just wasn't working. And then I took the decision to do a food allergy test. And I found out that he had high levels of antibodies in his stomach, which was attacking, which was causing gassiness, constipation, discomfort. But he wasn't able to tell me that at the moment. But we did that, and I realized that no, okay, let's do the step. Gluten-free, specific foods, dairy-free, and it started to help with specific things. So I noticed that the behaviors were coming, but he was able to come down from that behavior easier. They didn't last as long. Sensory meltdowns can sometimes last for ages. Now we have little spots here and there, just like other kids do. It's really about, figuring out what's going on with the child's internal body and the environment around them.
وهلا كمان I think it's important إنه نحكي إنه إحنا بنقدر إنه نظبط environment وننتبه على what their body is telling us. وننتبه على زي ما قلتي إنه have they slept well, have they eaten well, كل هاي الأشياء. بس كمان إنه بس يعني نفهم الأهل إنه we can do all our homework بس في أشياء still رح تطلع بس عشان إحنا ما نتعلق كتير بالresult. صح؟
100%. Don't you just have to prepare yourself mentally with the tools around you. And
يعني let's say the goal is إنه إحنا نعمل اللي علينا as much as we can. وبعدين accordingly إنه هم they will be improving, they will be more relaxed, they will be more comfortable. بس إنه to a certain level. بس we do what we can anyway.
100%.
صح ولا لا؟ طب ليسا, having said that, أنت عمالك بتقولي إنه you did a lot of changes at home, and I noticed that because I've been following you on social media for a long time now. وبتذكر when Kenz was younger, كنتي عم تعملي هيك أكتر a Montessori style at home. And then we started noticing that you shifted the play area, his playroom, maybe حتى your choice of toys, and you're paying attention to his needs أكتر. Maybe it looks like more of a sensory environment home أكتر. So احكي لنا the changes that you had to do with Kenz at home before understanding his needs and after.
For sure. When I first had access to Instagram, or when I first started implementing the Montessori method at home, صراحة, I'm an architect. So I studied architecture, I worked in that field. And part of that study is understanding how to create a built environment for the human body.
Nice.
Lighting, sound, shapes, movement, thresholds, هاي القصص كلها.
Yeah.
So I really had an interest of what it would be like to design the house for the child.
حلو.
And that's really basically what Montessori method is. The Montessori method for schooling is child-led, and the curriculum and the way they set up the classrooms.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that at home because it was during Corona and it was during lockdown. I didn't have access to play areas, to play group play dates. فقلبت البيت كله
play area.
four cans. The living room, our salon was accessible to him. The kitchen was accessible to him. Usually when we think about like playrooms or whatever, we dedicate one room for the child and that's where they're supposed to play and nowhere else. Whereas instead at that time I had turned the whole house to be accessible for them, for him, which was lovely. Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, when I realized that my son has sensory processing differences, I started to create the house or design the house that's sensory rich. That means providing sensory play through textures to food, having him involved in cooking and mixing specific things, touching the textures, having equipment in the house.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of different things, and a lot of parents reach out to me at home and they're like, I bought the trampoline, or I bought this and I bought that, but my child doesn't show interest in it, or it's not working, it's not helping. And that's the thing, like you could have all the tools that you want in the house, but if it's not being engaged with your child, if it's not what your child is seeking in that sensory input, it's not going to work. فدايما بحكي للأهالي, observe what the child is needing and what they're doing. And if أطفال, they come home and they're jumping all over the couches, that's when you understand that they need that specific type of
Some
input.
kids want to come home and just nest.
100%. في واحدة تحكي لي أنه بده بس يتغطى أو بس دايما بيغطي على وجهه. حكيت له جيبي له play tent. A tent, a space for him or her to go inside. So it's really about watching how their body reacts to things and providing them with the sensory equipment that will give them that sensory input.
So even when we're trying to do a play area for the child, or if we want to equip the house to be for this child, we don't just go to Pinterest and copy paste. So we're trying to understand what the child's day look like, what type of regulation they need, and what type of sensory input command they need, and then we provide things accordingly. So like you said, مثلا some children would enjoy أكتر jumping, some children want to nest, some children بدهم أكتر visual input, some بيحبوا لا more like of a dim light. So it's all depending on the child.
Yeah, for sure.
وكمان Lisa, you mentioned earlier, كنتي عم تقولي إنه إحنا we're trying to help our children communicate as much as they can, and you mentioned the AAC. وأنا عم بشوف on social media you're posting a lot about it. How has it helped you, and who is it for?
The AAC, حابة أحكي شوي about the journey تاع communication or whatever it is. كيف بدي أفسر لك. We had speech therapy for 2-3 years.
Okay.
And at that time, my son still wasn't able to use his words. Apraxia, which is a motor planning thing. He was understanding, his receptive language was there. He knew what he wanted, he was aware, but the speech still wasn't coming in. So I sat and I talked to his practitioners and I'm like, listen, I just want him to know that I understand him. I'm finding myself constantly like correcting or constantly trying to get him to talk because I know what he wants. Let's try something else. I told him, let's do sign language. Let's learn Makaton. Let's use picture boards. Like I was just craving the connection. I was craving the feeling of my son looking at me, be like, oh, you know what I want.
But look, this says so much about you, your openness. You're not saying I want my child to communicate عشان every child needs to talk and we need to hear them talk. You're saying I already understand what he's saying, but I'm craving for more connection with him and maybe giving him the comfort and the relief. You're heard, you're seen, you're understood.
100%. So when we decided to get the AAC, it's basically like a device that has a vocabulary of like hundreds of thousands of words.
Okay, can you say what the AAC stands for, please?
It's Augmentative Alternative Communication.
Okay.
And it's إشي كتير فخم. Okay, the fact that we have now technological advances in our day-to-day lives in general, as all human beings. the fact that we have access to technology and that we're able to create tools to allow our children to communicate.
Let's use it.
Yeah, why not? Let's use it. And let's validate it as official language.
100%.
You know? So he's able to tell me his wants, his needs. He's able to tell me what he wants to eat, where he wants to go. And my son is able to speak.
Okay.
But his ability to speak, it differs from one environment to the other.
Yeah.
At home, he's very verbal with me. But for example, when he's in school or social settings that seem overwhelming because of the environment, his nervous system is constantly working on regulating.
Yeah.
So his ability to use his words, as you know, a lot of people want him to do,
depends really on his regulation and his setting.
It's totally on the regulation. Like when he's comfortable, when he knows you, when he has access to you, like he'll tell me. Or he even started using it with his teachers, which is amazing. Like he'll go up to the teacher and he'll be like, I want to go outside and play on the swing.
Yeah. So this device is offering visuals, basically they're pictures.
Yeah, they're picture to speak.
Where he can tap on the picture that refers to what he needs. So it's either like a picture of a toilet or his meal or the place he wants to go, the activity. صح?
And it creates full sentences.
Excellent.
As he gets older, for example, he can... if he chooses that he wants to use that, that's the most comfortable way for him to communicate. Go ahead. I'm not going to force you to.
Yeah, and I noticed you can even change the voice.
Yeah, you can.
So you can make it an old man.
Yeah, it's really cute. Even accents.
Yeah.
يا ريت يعملوا إشي هيك في العربي كمان. بحس إنه إشي كتير مهم. بعرف إنه في حدا كان عم بيشتغل على هاي الإشي بس. It's nice because you're proving that your children are capable.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
and we're
encouraging whatever form of language that's coming out of them.
Totally. Like people, unfortunately, we're breaking stigmas, Sarah.
Of course.
Okay, by having these conversations, we're breaking stigmas.
Yeah.
We're seeing that our children are fully capable. That they're progressing in their own timelines.
Yeah.
As long as we provide them with the things that they need.
Yeah.
Life looks different.
Of course.
I'm going to tell you, life looks different.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
It is.
I've become a better person. The teachers who teach Ken's have become better teachers.
Wow.
Because they're learning new things.
صح.
Ken's extended family have become better human beings because they're empathizing more.
Of course.
Right? If you don't have access to different human beings, you're never going to grow. I mean, there has this like, people say that you should travel in order to experience the world and you become a better person. It's the same concept, I feel.
Yeah.
They're honestly a blessing to us.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And sometimes it just takes the openness of understanding that there's not much to change in them as much as we need to change for them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Totally.
Okay, and when I think of AAC sometimes, it just looks like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
For sure.
So what does it look like really on an average day? For example, Kenz wants to come up to you and there's a certain snack that he wants. So what does it look like? He's looking for his tablet, he's opening it, he's putting the pictures. What does it look like?
To begin with, I started it with having it on my body.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's with you, not with him.
It's with me. To start with, it was with me. Yeah. I understand that it should be with them, but it just felt easier to have it with me. Wasn't going to have the extra like boundary of having him hold it around. So it's with me on my body, and he'll ask for a specific thing and you just model. I want chips, or I want to go outside, or when we're playing swing.
Yeah.
It has to come from your natural routine of life.
Yes.
It's not like putting the object in front of them and then labeling each object. It really is a part of the fabric of our time. Yani, the bathrooms, we use it. So it was just as if I was talking to him.
Yeah.
You
were modeling, basically.
Modeling, and it's all about modeling and prompting. And I think the more you use it within a specific routine in your life, the easier things can be learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you notice that, for example, it reduced his frustration because it enabled him to communicate, especially in the places where communication was difficult for him?
Totally.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
طب Lisa, I want us to talk شوي about schools, and let's try to do it in Arabic. Because I feel like a lot of people need to tap into this subject. Okay. هلا لما احنا عم نروح على مدرسة معينة، شو أكتر إشي لازم ننتبه له، أو شو الأسئلة اللي لازم نسألها عشان نتأكد إنه هاي المدرسة بتحترم التنوع العصبي؟
100%. أول إشي صراحة ما في كتير مدارس بيقبلوا يكونوا inclusive.
أوكي. إنه ما بيكونوا كتير دامجين.
بيرفضوا. They don't want to be inclusive. But let's talk about the schools that are inclusive. يعني we have access to a couple of schools here in Jordan. مدارس inclusive. أهم إشي أنه بدك تسألي المعلمات أو interviewers how they deal with regulation in school.
إنه كيف بتعاملوا لما الطفل يكون متضايق أو مش منتظم مثلاً. أوكي.
وصراحة even the way they do the assessment. يعني هلا احنا بنعرف إنه neurodivergent kids بتوتروا في أماكن جديدة. صح؟ فenvironments جديدة لأنه
فما يكونوا judged من أول مشوار بيروحوا أو من أول تقييم عم بيعملوه.
100%. يعني حطوا في بالكم أنه ممكن هذا الطفل حيحتاج 3 مرات يعمل معه interview. أول مرة بس أنه يروح ويتفرج ويشوف الصفوف وهاي القصص و observe the child, see how the child acts. The second assessment could be engaging with them in a specific way. بس للأسف يعني a lot of the schools الassessments تاعهم بتكون either academic or involves their fine motor skills. And then they're judged on that.
Or they're just, the minute the child walks in, they judge the behavior. He seems like, for example, he would hit, he would scream, he wouldn't sit in a classroom.
Seems like أنا ما بفهم الموضوع. يعني بيشوفوا طفل عم بركض وعم مبسوط و excited وهذا إشي بالنسبة لهم
it jeopardizes the classroom.
It's strange. It's strange because it's such a natural thing. You know, kids move, kids want to play, kids want to run around, they want to be loud. أهم إشي see if the school has the ability to allow those normal interactions to happen.
Okay.
You know, not all schools have sensory rooms على فكرة, or have the concept of what a sensory break is. But you as a parent, when you have this information in you, it's nice to ask or nice to advocate for your child to be modified.
100%.
يعني لو for example في مدرسة ما بتعرف أو أول مرة بتحكوا إنه طفلي بيحتاج 5 دقايق زيادة على السوينج بس يخلص من السوينج جسمه تاعته حتكون regulated وهو قادر يستوعب الانفورميشن حوله to participate meaningfully in class.
So basically المشكلة إحنا عنا إنه بالمدارس اللي بيحكوا إنهم هم دامجين أو inclusive إنهم هم بيعتبروا إذا أنا سمحت للطفل إنه يسجل بالمدرسة هيك أنا inclusive. بس إحنا ما عم ندور بس على إنه تسمح للطفل إنه يكون بالمدرسة. إحنا عم ندور على مدارس يكونوا فاهمين إنه هذا الطفل بده دعم فردي، يعني أكتر individualized على احتياجاته هو، إنه جوا الصف في تغييرات لازم تصير عشان يقدر هذا الطفل يكون جوا الصف، وما تكون المدرسة عمالها بتحكي للأهل إنه إحنا ما بنقدر نغير، إحنا ما بنقدر نعمل. انتوا once عم تقبلوا الأطفال بدكم تعرفوا إنه في كرايتيريا بدها تنقبل برضو مع هاي الأطفال، تعمل تشينجز عشان لما أولادنا يكونوا بالمدرسة جد ما يحسوا حالهم disappointed أو ما يحسوا بالإحباط، يحسوا إنه هذا مكان هم قادرين يتعلموا فيه بطريقة مختلفة زي ما هم أصلا مختلفين. وما نكون بس عمالنا منذكرهم إنه كل إشي صعب عليكم وكل إشي صعب على أهلكم كمان، لأنه إحنا كمان كأمهات لما عم نبعت أطفالنا على المدرسة إحنا بنكون متوترين كتير، بنكون خايفين إنه كيف كان يومهم، قدروا ولا ما قدروا. بس إذا المدرسة عم بتوفر لهم كل الأشياء اللي هم بيحتاجوها، حتى إحنا التوتر تبعنا رح يخف، وما رح نكون إحنا بس قاعدين عمالنا بنفكر إنه أوكي we made it this year، أبصر السنة الجاي نقدر ولا ما نقدر. فهو كله بيعتمد على قد ايه المدرسة رح تكون فاهمة إنه هذا الطفل بده دعم فردي، رح يقدر الطفل إنه يكون جزء من المدرسة زي ما هو لازم يكون جزء من المجتمع. يعني كيف بيقولوا إنه يعني بدك ايدين عشان تقدر تزقفي، مش بس انه انا عمالي بعمل كل الجهد اللي انا بقدر عليه بالبيت بس المدرسة ما عم تعمل الاشياء اللي هم المفروض يعملوها. صح ولا لا؟
100%. يعني زي ما حكيتي inclusion مش انه احنا بنقبل وهيو موجود في الصف.
بالضبط.
True inclusion is يعني what are the boundaries that's preventing this child from participating in class? How can we remove those boundaries? فكري فيها هاي الفكرة. انت عرفتي انه عندك طفل في الصف not paying attention or whatever it is. Then you find out that your child needs glasses. Okay? You as a teacher or you as a parent حتحكي انه لا انا ما بقبل ابني يلبس نظارات، لازم to participate in the class بدون نظارات. احنا ما بنقبل اطفال بيلبسوا النظارات. When you hear it like that it sounds insane. صح. هو فعلا يعني if there's small things that you can do in the classroom to adjust. يعني there's modifications that you can physically do. Your child can sit on a beanbag instead of a regular chair. Your child can have access to a sensory box.
Of course.
Sitting and squeezing specific toys, fidget toys. to participate meaningfully in class. Visual schedules in the classroom. هاي القصص. فما بتحتاج جهد كتير أنا بحس من المدارس أو من المعلمات يعملوا تغيرات مختلفة في الصف to make sure that all kids are participating.
هم basics بكونوا. هي بس بتعتمد على إنه بس إن المدرسة يكون عندهم the curiosity إنه الفضول. أقعد مع الأهل أسألهم شو البروفايل تبع الطفل، إيش هو بيحتاج، شو نعمله لما يكون متضايق، لو حسين قد إيه مثلا بيقدر يقعد جوا الصف before he needs a break. يعني بس يسألونا the right questions ويسمحوا لنا إنه إحنا actually to share جد إيش طفلنا بيحتاج. هون بنبدأ نشوف عن جد تغيير، بنبدأ نشوف إنه قدرة المدرسة تكون inclusive. بس في إشي بدي أسألك عنه since إحنا يعني فكرة الحلقة اليوم إنه إحنا حابين نحكي على Neuro-Affirming Parenting أو الأسلوب والتربية اللي بيحترم التنوع العصبي. أوقات إحنا كأهل رح نروح على مدارس ورح although هاي المدارس رح يكونوا they market themselves إنهم هم دامجين، بس once إحنا رحنا هناك رح نسمع كلمة إنه بس إذا ابنك أزعج جوا الصف، بس إذا ابنك ما قدر، بس إذا ابنك طلع صوت، بس إذا ابنك عمل نوبة غضب، هذا إيش اسمه؟
I think كتير مهم الناس يعرفوا هاي الكلمة. It's called Ableism.
Ableism.
Yes.
Ableism اللي هو I think بالعربي التحيز ضد الاختلاف.
Yes.
Okay.
It's يعني think about it this way يعني it's the same idea as sexism. It's the same idea as racism. It's seeing
إنه هو عنصرية basically.
هي عنصرية. أيوة هي الكلمة في العربي صح؟ إنه ومرات يمكن هم مش مستوعبين إنه they're doing that. It could be complete يعني outright making fun of bullying the child. It could be specific language that you use زي ما حكيتي. It could be excluding them. It could be
as basic as just pinpointing شو هو ما بيقدر يعمل
100%.
وبس هذا هو اللي احنا عم نمسكه عليه. ما عمالنا بنيجي بنطلع طب هو شو بيقدر يعمل ومن هون نبدأ.
They're not using the strength-based approach. They're using a language that's extremely discriminating. And even now I feel like it's trending on social media إنه ADHD وهاي القصص it's thrown out there like as something that's like
صح.
now it's quirky. It's losing its credibility صراحة. I think احنا لما أهالي نعرف إنه there's ableism that exists in the world, we can either fight for the rights of our child, but there's also moments in time where you feel like you know what, no I'm going to step back. يعني أنا ما بدي أصاحب حدا عنصري. صح ما بدي طفلي يكون حوالين مجتمع أو سكول أو سيستم عنصريين. صح الكلمة. فممكن أنه خلص فهمت أنه أنتوا هيك و good luck to your system.
But not for me.
It's not for me.
ولا it's not for my child.
وصراحة it's not for neurotypical children either.
100%.
لأنه when you're surrounded by that type of mentality, philosophy, and you're just focusing on having children
that are all
sit
the same.
still, observe, be obedient. What are you teaching your children?
صح.
Are you teaching them love? Are you teaching them confidence? Are you teaching them how to stand up for themselves? No, you're raising people pleasers who are just learning how to receive orders from the higher ups and not engaging in real life situations.
And close-minded individuals, simply.
Yes. وللأسف one day you never know, you might meet a person who's neurodivergent.
100%.
You might give birth to a person who's neurodivergent. You might, like you said, friends and family around you. So why not have access to these beautiful human beings?
100%. طيب ليسا, so since we're encouraging it as much as we can, what does هاي التربية اللي بتحترم التنوع العصبي, the Neuro-Affirming Parenting, what does it look like beyond homes? In play dates, in travel, in public areas, how are we managing it بهاي الأماكن?
It looks like a confident parent who understands their child's needs importantly, who's prioritizing their child's emotional well-being and putting that as the forefront before entering the public world. Understanding that there are going to be challenges, but it can look like this. For example, you're invited to a play date or a birthday party. It can look like you as a mom reaching out to the person who's doing the play date and saying, hey, ابني ما بيحب الصوت العالي أو ابني مرات بتوتر في العيد ميلادات. حيكون ممكن في احتمال أنه نروح بكير بس كنت حابة أخبرك قبل بوقت عشان ما تحسي أنه I'm being rude. That's what Neuro-Affirming approach looks like in that. Let's say you're going to get a haircut, or you're going to be involved in another human activity. You reach out to the barber shop, to the dentist, to whoever, and you tell them, hey, my child is different. He needs more patience, he needs more time. I'd like for you to approach it in this way. And then you bring your child that. So it's really about spreading or educating the people around you in order to have meaningful participating in life. It's really about talking. يعني الشيء اللي انت عم تعمليه هون شيء كتير مهم وكتير وانا اسفه مره تانية انه مش عم بحاول احكي عربي اكتر بس اللي انت عم تعمليه كتير كتير مهم. يعني الناس اللي عم بيحضرونا اليوم وعم بيحضروكي كل مره عم تطلعي بودكاست, it's making it normal. You're normalizing. You're seeing the humanity behind like our lives in general.
احنا we're trying انه نحكي للاهل you're not alone. مش بس انتو, في كتير اهالي تانيين عندهم طفل عنده توحد او ADHD او anywhere else on the spectrum. It's not because of you. And it shouldn't change the way you look at yourselves. Life doesn't stop there. عادي, you will find a way to look at life differently and move forward with your child. بس أنا بدي to comment on something you said earlier, إنه أنا the real transformation for me من هاي الناحية, it came from two friends يعني in different scenarios. I had a friend مرة, she's a mom يعني in the classroom that my son used to go to, ومرة رتبوا playdate على مكان أنا ما رحت. Because the place I've been before and it's too loud or too exhausting or really overstimulating for my child. So she sent me a message. She said, why didn't you guys join? And I told her because of that. And then she told me, انتي واجبك انك انتي تحكي لنا ايش ابنك بيقدر يعمل وايش ابنك ما بيقدر يعمل, واحنا كلياتنا واجبنا انه احنا نغير accordingly. That really made a transformation for me, because أنا سألت وقتها حالي, طب أنا ليه بحس إنه أنا ما بدي أغير لكم your plans, ما بدي أغير لكم your system. No, كلنا جد actually هي طلعة عشان كل حدا, صح؟ فكلاتنا we have to change accordingly. And some other friend كمان كانت بفترة أنا كنت عم بعمل diet for my child. We were on a gluten-free diet. At the same time, he's a very picky eater. So it was her son's birthday, and she called me before the birthday. She said, these are the meals that we're getting for the kids. What should I get for your son? And I insisted, لا أنا عاملة حسابي to get him something. She said, no, you're not going to walk into my son's birthday with a lunchbox معاكي. أنا زي ما رح أضيف كل حدا رح أضيف basically ابنك. فهذه it added more to the transformation, إنه إحنا لازم نتذكر إنه ما نستحي نحكي إيش ولادنا بيحبوا, إيش ولادنا بيقدروا يعملوا, إيش ولادنا ما بيقدروا يعملوا. زي ما عادي أي أم تاني ممكن تحكي it's my child's bedtime. أو أي إشي أو a plan came up. يعني ما نحس إنه إحنا we're burdening the people around us because our journey is tough on its own. صح؟
100%. And I think the more that you open up the fact that she said إنه ليش ما حكيتينا من أول كان سهل, يعني إشي كتير مهم. You know, I think the way يعني when people see how we advocate for our child, how we find joy within our child, the people around us are going to be like, oh no, she loves her child. Her child means something to her. Let's be a part of that. That inner circle that she's created.
Yes,
you know?
100%.
I've had beautiful experiences with kids from my son's classroom and the parents and stuff. It's the more you have the tough skin to go out there, the more you'll realize some interactions are actually quite nice.
100%. وكمان you mentioned إنه كيف المدارس اللي ما عم بكون فيها inclusivity قد إيه it shapes the children. And I was thinking إنه the kids that go to my son's school, you know, if they meet anyone with whatever challenge they have, عادي ما بينصدموا. They act normal around the child. And I used to see them around my son, إنه أول لما يوصل على البلاي ديت أو كذا, they would come and tell him if there's something in that place that he likes, إنه oh I found whatever that you like and وهيك. بس بشوف مثلا other kids in public areas, they go to certain schools that are not inclusive, وبتحسي they would be shocked by anything, you know, as basic as if they asked the child a question and he didn't answer, they would blank out like, come on, how can you not know how to talk? يعني guys, red inclusion is important.
It's so important.
It's for everyone, not just for
كتير
parents.
مهم. وصراحة يعني لازم نحكي عن هالموضوع شوي. احنا كأهالي عم ندفع زيادة عشان نخلي أولادنا يكونوا في المدرسة. Inclusion. I don't know if people know this, but true inclusion comes without all of these extra needs that we need to put, whether it's we hire a shadow teacher, whether it's we pay extra for support within the school. That's something I think that needs to have some change in the future. Because the concept of having a shadow teacher in the classroom is great to start with, but it's not a solution. يعني في قصة بدي أحكي لك عنها. هلا هون النظام في المدارس أنه بس بسمحوا طفل واحد اللي عنده shadow teacher في كل صف، ما بسمحوا أكتر. فهاي boundary already علينا.
بالضبط.
يعني ما في مدارس كفاية وما في محلات في المدارس.
ما في وسع كفاية بالمدارس. بالضبط.
It's insane. Anyways. بس هلا يعني it's in the second term والأم بتحكي لي أنه في 4 أطفال في الصف هلا صار في عندهم shadow teachers. بلشت في 1 صار 4 لأنه عم بيلاحظوا
like ما بيقدروا تلمت أكتر من ما options are limited already.
It's not even that the way that they're choosing to include is wrong. يعني the 3 other kids that have the shadow teacher, they're speaking, their academics are doing well, but they have quote-unquote behavioral things. And instead of looking at the root causes of what's causing this behavior or trying different strategies, they're just
bringing an outsider to come and control the child's behavior.
Which is not going to do anything.
Of course.
And I mean, what environment is it to have like 6 or 7 students in the class?
100%. Yeah. طيب Lisa, what would be your most genuine advice to parents in general, maybe mostly moms who are watching us, and they're finding it hard to find joy in this journey, because you know a lot of moms say that I love my child, I accept my child, but I hate everything around us. صح? Whether it's the limitation, the ableism, like you mentioned. So, what would your genuine advice be to these moms?
Learn how to put boundaries. Take care of yourself as a person first. Give yourself the grace and the love and the understanding that you're doing your best. And I know that everything that you're doing is coming from love. I think what helped me the most is having people around me who share the same mindset. Have friends who support the little wins. Whether it's your inner circle between you, your partner and your child, on valuing things that your family values, that could grow into your extended family. If that's not possible, it could grow to other moms and parents going through the same thing.
100%.
Because like you said, the language that we allow ourselves to hear is really going to affect our mindset. فأنا ما بدي أسمع كلمة دايما أو كل يوم أنه حتتأثر فيا وتحسسني أنه uncomfort. Learn how to put those boundaries. It's okay to deal with them when it comes, because you know life is difficult. You're gonna go through that. But if you have people in your life that you can lean back on, talk to, and truly understand, celebrating the wins.
The little wins and noticing them.
People don't notice that, like the first word or the first nod yes or the first of anything is so beautifully cherished with our neurodivergent children, because their progress in life, it's not slow, it's with intention. And they make you live in the present and in the now.
Of course.
Life is rushing around us. When are we going to do this? They honestly make you pause and make you appreciate the moment that you're in now.
100%.
And honestly, that's what it is, I think. That's what's helped me the most, is having friends like you.
Thank you. وأنا كمان جد والله.
عن جد.
And maybe I want to add something to what you said, is that in society we're going to meet, do we call them ableists?
Ableists, yes.
اللي هم الناس يلي no matter how much you try to explain to them رح يحسسوكي إنه no, your child is basically misbehaving, your child is. Or maybe إحنا sometimes along the way we kind of lost our confidence and spark. Let's be very honest here. And أوقات إحنا بنكون حتى شوي متوترين when we're taking our child to a new place, because we don't know how welcoming this new place would be. And mostly I'm talking about school systems. So let's go there with confidence, and let's really talk to these people with confidence, with strength, with power, with courage, to always have our answers ready. ما نحس حالنا إنه إحنا بس رايحين hoping إنه يا رب ما ينتبهوا على إشي معين. إنه no, actually إحنا ننبه with courage, let's say, with pride كمان.
With pride, be proud.
With pride. وما نخلي basically حدا يقلل من إيش بيقدر يعملوا أولادنا.
For sure.
It all starts with إنه إحنا نآمن that they can do it and then we set the tone لكيف الناس رح تبدأ تشوفهم.
And how can you create this courage? Like I do it through my social media because I saw other moms doing it in their social media. I saw moms being joyful, happy, enjoying life. When I see that that's possible, I'm encouraged to do so also.
Yes, 100%.
The more we talk about it, the more we're out there, the more we're proud of our children and our families. I think the push forward to advocate and change these systems will be better.
100%. Thank you, Lisa, so much for your time.
Thank you شكرا كتير for having
me. For every word. وعن جد thank you even for your social media platform because honestly I go there and I feel like, wow, La La Land. It's such a happy place.
Yeah, it is La La Land, honestly.
You know, you're everywhere with kids. You're not putting any limitations. I know it takes a lot of work and preparation, but يعني, you're able to find joy in every place you go.
We try our best.
He's so lucky to have you.
Habibti, I'm blessed to have him. I don't think I would be the person that I am today if it wasn't for him. صراحة.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
شكرا كتير. شكرا.